Griffin Art, coming to you from deep in the heart of West Texas. Today is Monday, September the 26th, 2016. I intended to record on Fridays, but I had company in on Friday, and we had a big, long day, so it didn't happen Friday, but here I am, not too far away from the original time that I said that I was going to try to record. So you may get two this week. I don't know. Let's talk. How are you? How are things? I'm good. It's Monday morning, and I feel pretty good today. I'm glad for that. The kids had a good morning. I had a good morning. I've had my coffee. Let's talk. I want to talk to you about an idea that I have, and I would really love your comments in the comments section about whether or not you think this is a good idea. And it could go two different ways. I'm trying to think of a way to put more original content on this channel instead of me just doing process videos of stuff that people have already seen. I think that that's my major hang up with process videos, is that there's so much of everything already out, and my process is so similar to a lot of other people that either art journal or do mixed media, because I learned a lot of those things by watching their YouTube videos. I want to have something original, something that would be a little more from my own brain, if that makes sense. So here's the idea. I have the idea to do a video set called Copycat Style, which is not directly copying a piece, but maybe looking at a piece from a great artist or an artist that I really like and saying, how can we turn this on its ear but in the same style? For instance, recently I had the opportunity to see an exhibit by Frank Stella at the Museum of Modern Art in Fort Worth. And I was very taken with the lines and the colors, and I enjoyed it so much. I felt like it was a great exhibit and that I was very lucky to have been able to see it. Would it be interesting to take a piece of his that I really liked and translate it into something for my art journal or something on a canvas in that same style, but not duplicate his work? Okay, that's an idea. The other idea I had is something called pass-fail, which is where you take, it's very similar, you take an idea that you like and see if you can, again, turn it on its ear and make it your own, but not necessarily from a great, or I say great artist, that maybe is perhaps not the right word, but an artist that I like, but more in the realm of mixed media and art journaling. I don't know, they kind of sound like the same thing. So I don't know. It's just an idea, because I get so many ideas from Pinterest, and I don't like the feeling that I'm ripping somebody else off. And it really just speaks to how many of the original ideas don't come directly from me, and how other artists serve as an inspiration to get you moving. So anyway, those are just some ideas that I'm toying with. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think you didn't really explain yourself, I don't know what you're talking about, or yeah, that's a good idea, I would probably watch that, or just let me know your thoughts about that, please. I would really appreciate some feedback on that. Projects this week. I started working in two very large journals that I have. This is an 11 by 14 Canson mixed media spiral bound journal. I bought this at Walmart. It was not expensive. I like the Canson mixed media journals. I feel like their paper can really take a beating without disintegrating on you. These are a bunch of collage papers I put down. You can see there's book text. This was from a magazine. This is out of an old, not real ephemera, but a generic ephemera set. There were some other scraps down in here I used to fill. And then I put a wash of burnt umber over it to make it look a little more aged. That's the trick most of you know. And you can kind of see the stenciled faces that are on there. There's a lady face and there's a lady face. These are from Jane Davenport, maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head. There's little 6x6 stencils that I got in a grab bag from my friend Heather over at the Craft Shack. And I'm going to lay the stencil back over these and give the faces, the outline, some color with some paint, maybe some glass bead gel. Glass bead gel is a fun product. And then shade them a little bit. And I may push the background back a little more. It's still kind of very present when sometimes I just want a shadow of all of those papers in the background. So this is pretty big, and that was one that I did this week. Another large journal that I'm working in is the Mega Moleskin that I purchased in North Carolina back at the end of April when I went to Donna Downey Studios. Donna's got an entire class working in this journal called 38 Weeks. 38? 48. Hold on, it's right up here on my desktop. 48. It's 48 weeks. And they recently had a sale on the whole course, and so I bought the course because it was, I don't know, I think half of what it regularly was. And I'm loosely following along with her. Basically the same thing that I was talking about earlier, taking whatever style she's using on a project, I think she mostly does double spreads in here, and sort of following along, at least in the same color palette that she's working in. This is the one I did last week. It's really big. There we go. This is the one I did last week. I've got text tissue paper in the background that I put down with matte medium. And then I added texture with super heavy gesso and one of the catalyst spatulas that I have that I really like. And these papers are from an old Tim Holtz cardstock pad. And the photos over here are ladies that were also from that Tim Holtz cardstock pad. And I was in a real empowering women kind of mood, so I wanted women on there that may look like, they kind of look like to me, maybe they were not suffragists because they don't look quite that old, but were women who fought the fight back in the day. So I'm not done with this. I'm gonna play with some shading and contouring. Maybe with the Inktense Derwent Inktense blocks, and see what I can get to happen. Maybe with some charcoal, and darken it up a little bit, but not a ton. I like the tone on tone. So this is the one that I worked on this week. And anyone who knows me at all knows that I have a thing for New York. And so the New York street signs were a good choice for me. Anyway, this thing is great big. Huge. I have done other pages in here and I have shown them, at least in photos. This is a really, really large piece that's in here. This piece is called More Than a Number. Probably one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done. The stencil is a outline of a loose outline of a person, and that's one of my stencils. I did that myself. I also cut the letter stencils myself that are underneath from a printout, and this is just really one of my favorites. I wish that this was on a canvas. In fact, I have another version of it in progress that I have shown before, and haven't worked on in ages. And I have it up on my table to work on. So here's the one that's in progress. This was a matted piece that I bought at a thrift store and covered the inside. It was a weird looking flower or something anyway, and it's got a nice glass frame and it was really inexpensive. That's a cool way if you're wanting to work on something big or bigger than you're used to and you don't want to drop a whole bunch of money on a brand new canvas find a thrift store. See if you can find things there that are matted, things that have glass fronts and frames. You can even paint frames if you want. But generally the inside is pretty easy to cover up and to work over. So this is an interpretation of that other piece that's in the big art journal that I've been working on. And I got paint on the mat, which is bad for me. So I'm either going to have to repaint the mat or gesso over it if I want it white. But who wants to have a white mat? It's boring. This again has book text underneath and acrylic paint. The shading was done with either the Derwent Inktense pencils or charcoal. I don't remember. I think it's the Derwent because it's not moving at all. But it needs some work. I need to bring them out a little more, bring out the people a little more. And this one does not have the number stencil on it. So, there's that. Giant. So very big. I haven't worked much in small journals this week. I didn't work in any of my junk journals or my personal art journal. I did a piece for my daughter with all of the little faces we've been working on this month. And my faces have taken a more of a cartoonish type turn instead of realistic. More of a wistful, sort of playful turn, and I like that quite a bit. Kelly Ray Roberts is an artist that's been around for a long time, and she does girls kind of in that style. That they're not little girls, but they're a little more playful and a little more less realistic, I guess is the best way to say it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to tell you was I had a conversation with a friend of mine this week, my friend Ramona, and we talked about how funny it is that when you branch into a new area of art and or crafts, because mixed media really kind of does walk the line between arts and crafts. I feel like it does in some ways. And isn't it funny when you try to embrace another area of art or craft that it just blows up in your face? Some portions come so naturally to me and some are just a wreck. This, my friends, is a wreck, according to me. Okay? I wanted to make paper flowers. And so I searched and searched and searched. I don't have a Cricut. I don't have a die cutting machine that's going. I do have a die cutting machine, but it's not for, just random shapes and whatever. It doesn't hook to a computer where you can, make a template yourself and print it out or whatever. So I thought, well, I'll look for origami because I don't want a bunch of pieces that I have to glue together. This was so hard. And it's underneath. It's starting to tear here. And I tried to follow 2 different origami videos, and I tried for like 3 days to do this. It was really sort of comical. And this is the best representation that I came up with, and it looks crazy. This used to be a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. Now it's pretty much garbage, I feel like. But I might save it just for saving and to say, hey, I tried that thing. And it was not my gift. Okay? In my defense, the people doing the videos were using only 6 by 6 paper, and I think it was paper that was meant for origami. This is not for me. I think it's funny. Anyway, so there you have it. Paper flowers, not for me. My sister-in-law had all paper flowers at her wedding. Her bouquet was paper, the men's boutonnieres were paper, the decorations were paper. It was very cool. She doesn't live near me. Otherwise, I would have said, Megan, show me how you did this. I was participating in a wedding shower, and I thought that they would be fun to put out. They weren't fun at all. No. Product time. Here again, I have not shopped for products, but I will tell you what I like right now. I mentioned the glass bead gel earlier. Found out about glass bead gel from my friends at the Craft Shack. This is the Golden brand. I think there are some other folks that make one. I think Prima makes one, or Finnabair, or somebody. And I don't know if, I think Liquitex might have one also. Um, it's super fun. If I can get the jar open, there we go. Does it have a smell? A little bit, not much. And it looks pretty much like molding paste. It's white. And I apply it with a palette knife, my cheapo plastic palette knives. And if I put it through a stencil or something, I make sure that I clean the stencil and the palette knife right away so that it doesn't dry on there. And I don't have texture on my palette knife interfering or my stencil interfering when I try to use it later. But this adds a nice bit of eye-catching. It's another way for the light to hit your project. I'm not a fan of glitter or bedazzling things in general, but every once in a while you have a piece that just needs a little bit something extra. And these are clear beads, so they're not going to add color, but they're going to catch the color that's on your piece and have the light hit it in a different way. And I've enjoyed using the glass bead gel from Golden. Do you hear me, Golden? Do you hear me? Yeah. Let's see. I did have to buy gesso this week, but I bought a small one. I didn't buy a big one this time. I have enjoyed using the Canson mixed media art boards. I heard about these from Cece over on her channel. I'll link to her channel. These are the 8x10, so they're not huge. They're a little bit smaller than a regular size sheet of paper. They're nice and thick, obviously, because they're an art board. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, but see, they're quite thick. There are 10 of them, 10 boards in the package. And I believe I had to order these. I believe I ordered these on Amazon because my craft stores and my art supply store didn't carry them. They do carry some mixed media art board, but it was all very large sheets. And I do believe that they were Canson. They were just great big, and I wanted this size, and I liked that they were bound for easy storage. Here's a little piece over here that I started on one of them. I can get it out from under the stack. This is a piece I started. It hasn't gone anywhere yet. I was looking at a lot of Piet Mondrian, and so I thought, man, I'm gonna put some lines and things on there. And those are just lines I did with a ruler and then colored in with Inktense pencil. The numbers were stenciled on with acrylic, and there's book text in the background because that's always what I do. These oranges and reds are from the PBO Dyna line. And so they've got, can you see it? They've got a bit of there. They've got a shimmer on them. I don't know what this will be. I'll get there. I'll think about it. Oh, I just got a message. Isn't that fun? So that's about all I have today. Just a little vlog to keep you up to date and see what's going on. And I think that's it for today. Hope you're doing well. Again, leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. Is the copycat style or the pass-fail, are those legit videos that people would watch, that you guys would watch? Or do I need to keep digging? Okay? It's an unofficial poll. It's election season. This is an unofficial poll. I hope you have a great week. Get out, do something, make something, and remember, my friends, as always, to give love.